Hey everybody, Vince August here. It is Monday, March 28th, 2022, and I promised everybody I would go live tonight. Obviously, I have to talk about what happened last night at the Oscars. I think I come from a place where maybe I might know a little bit something more about this than the average person. I know a lot of you went from being covert experts to being international political science war experts, and now you're experts on comedy and the Oscars as well. Okay. I know everybody knows everything about everything. Let me start off by I'm going to dive right into this. Let's start off by the most important thing. You have to put last night into context. And if you're going to put it into context, the first thing you need to do is break down the most important wall that there is. And that is the wall of what the Oscars are. And the Oscars are a TV show. Period. End of story. Okay. When you are there, that you are part of the Oscars, this thing has a director, it has writers, it has producers, there are camera people, there are makeup people. This is a TV show. The people that are sitting there going to the Oscars, while they are nominees, they are also part of a TV show. Okay, they are there playing the role, whether the role is nominee, whether the role is they're going to win, or the role is they're just a feature player sitting there so that they're part of the spectacle that is the Oscars. But this is a TV show, and you have to remember that context, because the people that are part of this have rehearsed, they've gone over what's going to happen, they know what to expect, they know what they're going to do. Chris Rock was there as a presenter. Okay, he gets the gift bag. He's very well compensated for being there. And the producers and the people that asked Chris Rock to be a part of it know why Chris Rock is there. They know why they hired him to be there. And the people sitting in the audience also know why Chris Rock is there. Okay. It's important to put all of this into context to understand. Now, when you're at these award shows, and I've been to two, I've been to the Emmys twice. When you're there, again, when they go to commercial break, you guys are watching commercials. You don't realize the people in the studio, okay, or the people in the theater, whatever you want to call it, there's a clock that comes on. So depending on how long the commercial is, 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes, a clock starts to run. The people that are there get up, they go adjust their Spanx, go to the bar, go do what they have to do, get a drink. Someone fills their seat just in case they're not back in time. Okay, so there's a lot going on during all of this. That is a TV show. If they're not back in their seats by a certain point, they tell them, hey, stay back. Go stay at the concessions. Go stay at the bar. Go stay where you are. We're rolling right now. You can't walk in and out. Okay, again, it is a TV show. This is live TV, and there's a lot of moving parts going on during all of this. Okay, so that's the first part that you have to understand, because this is not a comedy club. This is not a supermarket. This is not, because a lot of people started getting into, if you do this, no. Don't put yourself into that position, because unless you understand what it is, this is not about if this happened to you, because you have to understand that you are there sitting there as somebody in a TV show. Okay. Yes, Janice, it's a TV show. I have to repeat it because a lot of people are losing the context of this. Okay. And this is why I love doing it live, because I'm going to get some of what you're saying. All right. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get to what happened. Chris Rock is there. He's going to present an award. He's there as a comedian. You know what he's going to do. This is what Chris does. No different than what he's done in the past. No different than what Ricky Gervais has done. No different than what anyone else has done. And listen, the host of these shows take shots at people that are there. They take shots at the movies. They have fun with it. They take shots at people that even aren't there, whether it's state of Florida and the governor of Florida, whether it's President Trump, whoever it might be. Mitch McConnell, there was a joke I heard about Mitch McConnell last night. Whatever the joke might be about, there are people that are taking shots at these award shows. We've seen it. As an audience that's there, you're going to sit there, you're either going to laugh, you're not going to laugh, whatever it is. The people at home, here's another thing. These award shows have nothing to do with you. They don't. These award shows are about them. They're about the people there. Because first of all, if they really cared what you thought about the movies, other than going to watch them, you would have a vote. You don't have a vote. You're not voting on best actor. You're not voting on best picture. You have no vote. In fact, the movies that have made the most money, which would be your vote, doesn't count for jack shit, because that's not what they're voting on. This is about the Academy. This is about people in Hollywood. This is about their night. This doesn't have shit to do with you at home. Okay? So, and these are the jokes are run by the producers, correct? Another question, Jess Savino. Yes. The opening monologue by the three comedians, okay? That opening monologue, that's all scripted. That is all done in advance. With regards to what Chris did, my gut reaction is he went out there and improvised some of it. And there are certain people that you can say, Chris, go out there, do your thing. Now, if you know the producers of the show said to Chris, go out there and do your thing. If you're in the audience, Chris is going to come out and do his thing. You have to sit there and play your role as an audience person. Okay. With regards to what Chris said, I have seen a lot of this being said out there. Okay. That's not comedy. You can't make fun of that. That's not funny. That's not. First of all, whoever is saying that out there, you've got to understand you are not the arbiter of all things comedy. You are not the arbiter of what's funny, what's not funny, what's fair game, what's not fair game. Because the second you start saying to comedians, you can't say jokes about this, but then that list is going to fill up quick. We're not going to have comedy anymore. And I actually saw someone put this up on one of the social media platforms, cancel comedy. Somebody literally said that. We want to cancel comedy, as in cancel stand-up comedy, because you know what? It's just too offensive. With regards to people saying there's a line that was crossed, no. There is no line that's crossed. Okay? You don't get to arbitrarily draw the line and say this is the comedian line. Again, who makes you the person that says that? And people say, well, who makes you the person that says that? I'll tell you who makes me the person that says it. I'm a fucking comedian. And I know what it is to work in this business since 1997. I'm going on 25 years of doing this, okay? And it's not an easy job, okay? And it's a lot of trial and error. That particular show is not so much trial and error. Those are people that know each other. That's their situation. There's been interaction in the past. Okay. Now we get to the point of what Chris said. I am not going to judge the joke because it's up to no one to judge the joke. What judges the joke, and again, and this, I'm going to say this about comedy clubs too. When you're sitting and you watch a video of somebody posting something in a comedy club, you're not in the room. You don't know what happened. Okay. I know people that were in the room last night. Okay. I know people that were there. And I'm telling you right now, go back and watch it. When Chris said what he said, people laughed. People laughed at the joke. One of the people that laughed at the joke was, in fact, Will Smith. He laughed at the joke. Now, obviously, his wife had a reaction to the joke. Everyone saw the eye roll. There comes a point where I guess Will saw the eye roll. He must have felt whatever offended Jada at the moment, and he reacted to that. He didn't react to the joke because after Chris says the joke, he actually says, oh, come on, that wasn't that bad. There was a break in there. He didn't get right up at that moment. Okay. Now, with regards to how Will could have handled that, again, he knows he's winning Best Actor. He knows it's going to come. He's going to have his opportunity to address it. Okay. Once he gets up from his seat and he walks onto that stage, onto that platform, he's left what his job is as an audience member, and he's crossed the threshold that as part of the Oscars, you're not allowed to do. So he breaks a rule right there. That's a very known rule within that. Look, you don't ad lib that shit as an audience member. Okay. And when Ricky Gervais did what he did as Golden Globes, nobody got up. People may have been offended. People may have moaned. People have been made whatever they did in that theater. No one got up to attack Ricky Gervais. No one's ever gotten up and attacked any of these hosts for anything that they've done. Whatever happened there, maybe it's a long feud going back with Chris and Will and Jada and whatever. Okay. Look, there's a different way to take care of that. And if you know you're going to get to go last, then you get up. And then when you say your speech, you say, look, obviously, I want to address everyone in the movie, and I'm going to get to that. And you could do all of that and say, I also want to say something else. You know, someone took a shot tonight at my wife. And Chris, let me educate you on what my wife is going through. He could have used that as a teachable moment, and Chris Rock would have looked like shit to everybody that saw that, and he could have addressed it that way. He could have addressed it backstage. There's a lot of ways to address it. And for everyone defending Will Smith, here's the problem. Will Smith, on the night that he wins his Best Actor award, people are talking about the slap. They're not talking about his award. I know a lot of people saying that's his wife. Someone insults your wife. You know, what do you do in that situation? Well, what you can't do is get up and hit somebody. The other thing is, in terms of what this means for performances in general, okay? So where is the line with regards to when you can be insulted enough to physically assault somebody and attack somebody? Okay, when you walk into a comedy club, I'm sorry, you sign off on being offended. You are signing off on being offended in a comedy club. So let's take this out of the Oscars and let's make it comedy. You are signing off on being offended. If you come in a comedy club and you're worried about a joke pissing you off, don't come to a comedy club. And I say this whenever I headline, whenever I promote my show. If you have thin skin, if you have soft spots, if you think there are things that could be said in a comedy club that will offend you, do not come see me. Period. End of story. I am not your comedian. There are comedians that are non-offensive. There are comedians that don't take chances. Go see them. Don't come see me. Okay? Because I make fun of me. I make fun of current events. There are a lot of times I do improv. Hey, and as far as, but Vince, aren't there certain topics that are off limits? No. Let me tell you something. 9/11 was a day that affected me tremendously. Okay? And affected people that I know. Okay? People that died in that building. There are jokes that have been made since then about 9/11 that are funny. So 9/11 is not off topic. Okay. People, what about cancer? This and that. I have seen people make funny cancer jokes. I've seen people deal with the death of their parents in ways that it's funny. Okay. So in terms of what's funny, what's not funny, you are not the arbiter of all things funny. And if you are offended by comedy, then you shouldn't be watching comedy. Listen, I don't care what form of entertainment it is. Make it porn. If you find porn offensive, don't watch it. It's that simple. Don't go to the place where you know you might be offended. I want to get to some of the comments because I see that people are going crazy on the message board. Finally, we have a great interactive show. I got to put on my glasses because I can't see. Let me deal with some of the stuff that's being said here. All these jokes run by producers. In the case of two wrongs don't make a right, handed slap. I don't think this is two wrongs make a right situation. I think Chris did his job. He went out there. Hey, Chris, go out there, make jokes, do what you do. Okay. The reaction was an assault and a battery. That was the reaction. Again, people say, well, he defended his wife. There's a lot of ways you can defend your wife in that situation that don't take it to that level. And then it becomes justified later. I'm going to get into how the people justified his actions later by not removing him from the theater and giving him a standing ovation. And then even worse, what Will does, I might as well get into this now. Here's the worst thing Will does. He then takes the character he portrayed in the movie and says, you know what? I played that character and now art is imitating life. No. Hold on. You don't get to say, I played a badass character and you know what? I guess I'm still caught in the role. Stop that. No. There was a lot of other problems I had with his speech last night with regards to God's work and everything else. But again, if I'm not going to attack Chris for his joke, I'm not going to attack Will for what he said in his speech. It's his time. It's do whatever you want to do. In the case of it absolutely was funny. Gary, yes, there were people. Listen, I know there were people in the room last night that I spoke to, and I don't want to out anybody, but I text messaged a couple people today that were there and said people laughed. People laughed at the slap because they thought the slap was part of the bit. Here's where everyone in the theater realized it wasn't a bit. It was when Will started screaming and cursing. That was when everyone realized, oh shit, this is real. People laughed at the slap. So they were laughing at the entire bit. They thought it was a bit until the screaming happened. So for everyone saying it was wrong, it was offensive, it was that, people laughed not only at the joke, but at the slap because they thought that was part of the setup. So everyone that's getting outraged at home, again, you're not in the room There was a different tone in the room at the time that you're not privy to. And you don't understand that. Again, I'm going to, get Janice mad, but it's a show. Laura's hell no. Cancel. No, here's another thing. With regards to canceling people, I'm going to get to, might as well get to it now because I'm not looking to cancel Chris Rock. I'm not looking to cancel Will Smith. I'm looking for these people to come out and say and atone for what they said and did. Chris is going to come out and say, look, man, it was a joke. And look, the reference to G.I. Jane, again, I don't want to judge the joke, but if you're going to compare someone to G.I. Jane, that's not a weak character. Look, whether the joke fell flat or didn't, he wasn't comparing her to a character that's weak. The other thing is this. You have to realize these people live their entire lives out in the public. Okay, Jada Pinkett Smith shaved her head apparently on an Instagram or during one of her online things that she did. She brought this to the attention of the public. Apparently, I didn't know about it. Who knows if Chris knew about it? But when your life is out in public, you're going to be subject to this stuff. And one of the things that I have been told when I've gone on auditions, when I've pitched TV shows, look, you've got to have thick skin for this business. People are going to attack you. Half the people that follow you because they hate you and they want to see you crash. Look, I'm a fucking nobody, and I get it from doing these videos. When I travel with Trevor, when I do stand-up comedy, I get so much hateful shit sent to me. You know what I do? Unfollow people, delete. But what I can't do is after I walk out of club, that joke pissed me off. What am I supposed to do? Punch somebody up? No. You have to know that this is part of you, and they should know this. And people say, and Will said, I get attacked. I take it. Yes, you do. And you also get to live a lifestyle people don't have any concept of. The wealth, the privilege, the level of success that you're at, and the lack of financial concerns and stresses and things. So there's a trade-off, and that's part of the trade-off. And they know that's part of the trade-off. Let's see. Wondering if Don Rickles ever presented at the Oscars. Boom. Will did laugh. Yes, he did, Clarissa. He laughed. Gary, are you worried that Will Smith's actions, if not punished, will allow offended audience members to believe they can attack a comedian on stage without repercussions? Absolutely. Here's another thing. Let me tell you something. As a stand-up comedian, I'm going to tell you right now, I can't sit here and honestly look at this camera right now and talking to people out there and say, I would handle this the way Chris Rock did. And, we saw, and I did the last podcast I did was about how Judge Jackson has sit there and took the barbs, and how Justice Kavanaugh sat there, and people sit in these positions and they take slings and arrows and they deal with it. And Judge Jackson has dealt with it, and whether Kavanaugh dealt with it the right way, and when he had his meltdown at the end, the thing about that is, you deal with the situation with a certain amount of dignity. Chris Rock handled that unbelievable. Talk about showing restraint. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know that I could have shown that same restraint. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know that I can have another grown man slap me like that, and I'm not going to get physical right back. The fact that Chris didn't get physical is one thing. Talk about that restraint. The fact that Chris then didn't pile on and he knew to move on. Again, why did he do that? Janice Janendo, why did he do that? Because it's a TV show. He's hired to do a job, and his job was present the award, and he did. He rolled out and said, look, I did my jokes. I got hit, whatever. Boom. I got to present this award. The professionalism that Chris Rock showed was unbelievable. In terms of comedy clubs, yes, if you don't deal with this now people think that they're going to be, and I'm telling you right now, people will go to comedy clubs wanting to have a Will Smith moment. Because once you praise that behavior, and once you say that that was the right thing to do, I'm telling you, you're going to have copycats. People will go to comedy clubs. People are going to go to these events and try to have a Will Smith moment and be the next Will Smith, because everybody wants to have their 15 minutes, and someone's going to YouTube it. They're going to put it on their Instagram. You are going to have people stage this now. People are going to go out of their way to go to comedy clubs and do this shit. I guarantee it. I guarantee you're going to see this. That's a danger. So that's why this needs to be addressed. And I haven't seen one comic not defend Chris Rock in this situation. I haven't seen it happen. Real comics. You know what? I shouldn't say I haven't seen any, because I did see Tiffany Haddish backed Will Smith. But again, see, I don't know what alliances are in Hollywood. So I can't say that that was a comedian and not so much a friend. So there are weird alliances out there too that you can't break. But I haven't seen like stand-up comedians. 99.9% are backing Chris on this one. Seema, comedian, attorney, judge, who better to explain this? Thank you, Seema. You're fair game. Jennifer Rowe, yes, everyone is fair game. When you're in the industry, you're fair game. Janice, absolutely, Vin. Stay the fuck home if you can't laugh at yourself. Yeah, listen, again, you know, we've seen this. You know, people are saying there are lines in comedy. There's not. You can't draw a line in comedy because, again, who gets to draw that line? Who's the person? Who's going to be the arbiter of funny? Who's going to be the arbiter of sensitivity? Who's going to be? Because whoever gets to draw that line, I'm telling you, it's going to get drawn further, 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 further. And then finally, what are we going to do? What? Then we can't say anything? And I've seen this a lot, and people have been saying this comedy is the last bastion of First Amendment protection and free speech. It is. It is. And don't take this away. You don't want to take this away from people. Believe me. Because you know what the funny thing is? The people that tend to go to comedy clubs, and I've said this before, tend to be lower income people. Rich people don't go to comedy clubs because rich people don't have the ability to laugh at their sorrows the way poor people do. It's a fact. If you look at the times in our country, when our country is going through the worst financial times, whatever economic times, whether we're in wars, the thing that does best on television tends to be sitcoms, tends to be comedies, because people need to break away and laugh. Okay. And look, I've said it. If you go back and look at TV shows from All in the Family, or if you go back and look at movies in the 80s from Weird Science, you know, things that used to be, you know, acceptable somehow became offensive and this and that. And it's no, you don't want to start doing this to our society. You really don't. We're going to a dangerous place. Deb Cundiff, Sunita, your improv with me was the absolute best ever. And it focused on my teaching, religion. Yeah, listen, with regards to me, I'm an improv comic. For those of you that have come and see me at the Daily Show, it's all improv. I don't stand there and do stand-up because it's a different type of setup when you have to warm up a crowd. When I go into comedy clubs, depending on what the audience is, depending on what the mix is, if they're not feeling material, I will break into improv. Part of breaking into improv is being able to do not only be self-deprecating on stage towards yourself, but have fun with an audience. You have to have a sense of humor about yourself. And one thing we know about Hollywood, a lot of those people lost their sense of humor about themselves. Chris did a joke way back when at the Grammys about J-Lo. And he said, J-Lo came with two ladles tonight. One with her and the second one that carried her ass. And people laughed at it. J-Lo got offended by that. She never got over that shit from what I understand. People laughed. Again, if you don't have a sense of humor about yourself and you go to those award show, when the comedian comes out, whether it's Ricky Gervais, I don't care who it is, Chris Rock, whoever, you know you have to sit there and be like, I got to take this shit. It's why I'm here. I got to take it. I got to do it. It's part of the show. Lois, it was a physical, it was a physical assault. It was battery. Chris handled it with great and a good comeback. Exactly. Chris did his job. Are comedians in jeopardy, Gary? I don't think we are, because like I said, you're going to have people that are going to go out of their way, that are going to go to comedy clubs and try this. But for the most part, comedy clubs and comedy club audiences understand what a comedy club is. But I'm telling you, you're going to have now copycats. You will have copycat people with this, without a doubt. So I think, yeah, some of us are going to have to worry about it. And I'll tell you this, as a comedian, now I'm on guard. Because somebody gets up and walks to the stage, what do you think? I'm going to wait to get slapped? No. The second you step on the stage, you are in the area you don't belong. You want to shout shit at me? Again, if I'm going at it with you, you can come at it with me. But if you're going to just come to clubs and heckle, no. Now you're trying to make the show about you. And all of the other people in the room paid not to hear you. They saw who was on the bill. They paid to see those people. They didn't pay to see you. So don't come there and heckle now. Don't try to be a hero at these comedy clubs, because now comedy club security is going to be on high alert. They're going to throw your ass out. And why are we going to ruin comedy clubs? Because you want to be a hero? So, yeah, stay home. Stay home, man. Lowest accountability. If he's not punished, do you feel comics are threatened? I think he's got to be punished. And this was another thing, too, because I saw Whoopi had a take on this today on The View. I tried to watch as much as I could while I had to get work done. That's why I waited until 7 o'clock to do this. I had to watch as much as I could in the 2 hours after work. Whoopi, I think, had a gaffe today. Now, she defended Chris, but when someone asked her, well, you've been to the awards, you've hosted the awards, you think they're going to take the award away from Will? And she's like, no, we're not going to do it. Well, she said, Whoopi, we're not going to take his award away. She slipped and said, we're not. I don't know if she's on the Academy or not. Look, I don't think they're going to take his award away. And again, Will did what he did. His apology last night, heat of the moment, shitty apology, because he didn't even apologize to the documentary winner at that moment, whose moment he stole. He stole that winner's moment, or not just that, where there was like 4 different people involved in that won that award for the best documentary. He stole their moment. He didn't apologize to them, because he should have said, look, first and foremost, to the winner of that award, I stole your moment. I had a lapse of judgment. I apologize to you first and foremost, because that was your moment and I stole it. Shitty apology. Heckle from his seat, but once he got up on stage, it was assault. Absolutely. He could have handled that a lot of different ways, Will. He could have been like, yo, man, that wasn't funny. Yo, lay off of that. A lot of different ways he could have handled it. Look, you're an actor. Act. Come up with something. But then again, if someone's not writing your lines, take care of it backstage. A lot of different ways to do it. Jess Miller hit the nail on the head. Seema, so what should the repercussions be? Should Chris Rock file a lawsuit? Okay, here's the other thing. So one of the things that people started asking me, lawyer hat, and Seema, yes, you're nailing the comedian, judge, lawyer thing. So Chris Rock didn't press charges. Doesn't matter. Now I'm going to talk to you about this as a lawyer. LAPD has to investigate it. There's a video of an actual battery. Whether Chris Rock wants to or doesn't want to file an assault and battery charge doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to give you an example of why it doesn't matter. I had a client that was in jail, and I went to see this client in jail, and he was arrested, charged with arson. He was setting off fireworks on the 4th of July. One of the fireworks went the wrong direction, went into his neighbor's garage. Something was in there, ignited, caught fire. He called 911. Fire company came, put the fire out. There was damage to the garage. Neighbor comes home. He says, look, my fault, my bad. I'm going to fix your garage. We were drinking. We were shooting off some fireworks. Sorry, got out of hand. I'm going to fix your garage. I'm going to take care of it. I'm paying for everything. Cop was standing there. Cop heard this. They charged him with arson. By definition, it was an arson. The neighbor told the police, the neighbor told the prosecutor, I'm not coming to testify. I'm not getting involved with this. The cop who was there as a witness testified at trial. The client who I got after the fact was represented by the public defender. They thought this was going to be something that went away. Jury came back, convicted him. 3 years jail for that. Where the neighbor said, I'm not coming to court. Neighbor never came to court to testify. But he broke the law. You break the law, the state doesn't care. They prosecute it anyway. Look, somebody shoots you and you say, nah, listen, this was personal. This was a mafia thing. He shot me. I'm all right. I'm going to live you know what? It's not a big deal. And everyone sees it. They don't say, oh, okay. The guy forgave you for shooting him. No, no. Chris Rock doesn't get to determine if charges are filed or not. That's the prosecutor. Now, we've seen what the LA prosecutor charges people with and what he doesn't. Take a wild guess what this guy in LA is going to do. He doesn't prosecute real crime. You think he's going to prosecute this? Hey, a shit chance he's going to prosecute that. Lois, professional through and through. Yes, Chris Rock. He's highly professional. Jess Miller, 100%. Chris Rock is a mensch. Will Smith is a... we're not going to get into name calling. Agree with you. Going to a comedy club and Will Smith... that's actually scary if people do that. Yeah, I'm telling you, people are going to try to copycat this. The problem is nobody did anything and they watched and did, okay, Jeanette Culpepper hits on something. Okay, so moment happens. Break for commercial. Bradley Cooper comes over, talks to Will Smith. I think someone else came over and talked to Will Smith. It may have been Denzel. He talked to Denzel. Bradley Cooper seen hugging Will Smith. Again, this is off camera during commercial. A lot of people didn't see what was going on. He sits back in his chair. Then he wins the award for Best Actor and gets a standing ovation. Look, you can't start an award show off. And I'll be honest, I didn't watch the beginning of the award show live because I was at the Canadians Devils game. I came home. I had to catch up on a lot of stuff. I woke up 6 o'clock in the morning to catch up on all this stuff so I could watch it. So I didn't see it live. You can't have an award show and talk about how we're going to be a different award show. You know, we're talking about love and the gay community and this and that and pride and happiness. And we're going to be together and we're going to show the rest of the world with everything going on in Ukraine. It's about, and then have a moment where somebody commits assault and battery and then that person goes on stage and give him a standing ovation. Wow. Wow. And then look, again, getting into the speech, when he starts saying, I'm doing God's work. Look, man, I'm an actor. I'm a comedian. I'm an entertainer. That's when you play a character and the character you're playing is the hero that you're portraying. The hero in that situation is not you, Will Smith. It's Serena Williams and Venus Williams' father. Okay. He's the one who went through that journey. You acted it out, but he actually did it. Okay. So whenever these actors play a role of a real life person, you know, and they assume that role and they feel like the hero, no. You acted out the role. The person who actually lived it, that's the hero. Okay. You just portrayed that in real life because we don't have the footage of what happened and it was recreated in a dramatical way for us to see it. But that doesn't make you the person. Okay. So to say you're doing God's work, let's be honest, you're doing your work. Okay. You're doing your work as an actor. Don't start saying you're doing God's work, because if you're doing God's work, then what the hell are the people in Ukraine doing fighting for survival? What was Mother Teresa? What are missionaries? Okay. What are teachers that get paid shit to do their job? What are cops that work in crap areas, the worst high crime areas that put their lives on it? What are firemen? You know, God, there's so many people out there. Talk about doing God's work. My man, you're getting paid millions of dollars, okay? You have a life that most of us will never come to understand. God's work? Really? You're going to speak for God too? That's another thing. When you say you're doing God's work, it's like as if you know what God's work is. Holy shit, is that a narcissistic fucking moment for him? Man, that was, again, I got a lot of problems with that speech. Let's see. What man slaps another man? Yeah, Tracy, I'm telling you, man, you know, for as much as people like, yo, he stood up for his wife, that's another thing. Look, in terms of standing up for your wife, okay, and this goes for any situation. Again, I've had insults hurled at me for being bald. I've had insults hurled at me for the way I look. I know I'm not a good-looking person. There was a time where I was really heavy. I have had insults hurled at me for that. We've all had insults. We all have certain soft spots. Man, you don't know what someone's journey is. I understand it. You don't know what someone's going through. I understand it. Okay. With regards to the joke, did it cross the line? No, it's comedy, and that's a TV show. So no, there's not a line there. There's not a line. Chris Rock was hired to do that job. Stop saying that shit. Okay. So in terms of if this happened in a supermarket and someone said to me, so if you're out in the street and someone said, no, that's not a comedy club now. Now we're talking about public. And even still, okay, when I'm at a traffic light and someone yells at me or curses at me, I don't get out of my car, grab a bat and start smashing their window. Okay. There are times you bump into people in different places. Listen, I'm a Canadiens fan. I've been to Canadiens games where I'm there and people yell at me, go back to Canada. I grew up in Hackensack, New Jersey. I happened to watch the Canadiens as a kid because there was no New Jersey team when I was growing up. Okay. I grew up a Steelers fan. I go to Jets games. People are yelling shit at me. What do? Go up to them and slap them? You can't do that. But that's why you have these fights at games. And then when people watch games and they see fights in the stands, they're like, look at those animals. Yes, exactly. Look at those animals. Why are they animals? Because someone yelled something about their team and it turned into that. And again, where's the line? Well, it's your wife. No, you protect your wife. Okay, wife. Okay, kid. Dog. How about dog? How about nationality? Okay, how about sexual preference? How about sexual identity? We're pushing the line out. How about that's my president you're insulting? That's my political party. That's my affiliation. That's my school. That's my gym. That's my car. I mean, we can get crazy with this thing. So who's to say what? Now, what are the categories where, no, don't make fun of that because then someone's going to slap you? How about you don't slap somebody? How about you turn around, you walk away, you beat a bigger person and be like, I don't need this shit. I get this, guys. I get this. I'm telling you, Whenever we go on tour, there are people that don't like a joke or say about me, about Josh, about Trevor. Even when we go out and tour and people see the audience during the last leg of the tour, you know how many people look at all that COVID spreading? How dare you guys? Unfollow, block, delete. What am I going to do? Engage some lunatic? No, you just don't. You walk away from it, man. You walk away from it. But I'm sorry. Listen, she's a friend, but his should have reached out to get public support. Just, I'd be thrilled if someone compared me to G.I. Jane. Just saying. That's another thing. The comparison to G.I. Jane, oh, man, that's a bad dig. A line in comedy is the death of comedy. Thank you, Catherine. Yes. Frank Carbonati, I promise not to smack you at the bar dinner. Oh, listen, I'm doing a bar association dinner. Now, what is that? A bunch of lawyers sitting, gathering around. I have been asked to do it based on my past performance. So my performance is going to be consistent with my past performance. I'm going to tell new jokes about new people consistent with that performance. Now, I have to preface that with, hey, look, if you're thin-skinned and you think things are going to offend you, I'm going to wait for 5 minutes. Please leave. Please leave. You have to do that now because I'm not going to have this situation. And listen, man, again, Chris is a better person than me. I don't know that I could have taken that. Larry Zing, amen. Gary Warner, Will Smith is giving kids carte blanche to commit violence acts. He needs to be punished. Yeah, you got to do something. You can't do anything. Punish him. What would Will Smith do if Joan Rivers told that joke? Now, that's a different thing, too. Great point here. People are talking about that Will – I'm sorry, I hit the desk. People are talking about Will did what he did because it was Chris Rock. Would he have done the same thing if it was Joe Rogan? Would he have done the same thing if it was a woman, Amy Schumer, someone else that told the joke? Would he have crossed that line depending on who the joke teller was? And again, this gets into the personal aspect of it. This gets into the part of, I don't know what the beef is between Will, Chris, Jada, that whole thing. I don't know if there's, because he did another joke in 2016 and they played the joke, and I hate to repeat jokes. Go look it up. It's all over the place. But Chris Rock, 2016 Oscars, Jada Pinkett Smith joke. It was another just benign joke, man. And if she's pissed at that for 6 years, here's another thing I heard. Well, you know what? Oh, this one set me off. You know what? You have to understand, first it was 2016, and then, we had the lockdown, and people were locked down for 2 years. Hold on. Okay. Will Smith was not locked down the way we were locked down. Will Smith was making movies during the lockdown. Will Smith was living in a 10,000 square foot house during the lockdown. Okay. Don't tell me Will Smith went through the lockdown the way we went through the lockdown, because obviously he made this movie during the lockdown. So this thing that he had the stress of COVID, get the fuck out of here with that. By the way, this is why I'm never going to get a job in mainstream, because I react the way I do. Also needs to apologize to the organizers, but listen, they're going to deal with them. Whoopi Goldberg is an Academy governor elected in 2020. Gary Warner. See, Gary, thank you for giving me that. That was a gaffe today. She said, we're not going to take away the award from him. So she already made her decision. And listen, do I think he should lose the Academy Award for this? Look, I've said this even about baseball players. Barry Bonds hit all the home runs. If he cheated, if he took steroids, the home runs counted. They counted. This is a first world problem, whether he loses the Oscar or doesn't lose the Oscar. I think that's inconsequential. What I think is more important right now, and people have said that P. Diddy is trying to work this out, and they already worked it out. No. That happened on live TV. That happened where everyone saw it. You got to work that shit out on live TV now. You've got to let the public know what the working out was, because now we need to see what the repercussions are to kind of calm this situation down and let everyone know, listen, you can't do this shit. So, yeah, I think that's got to come out. But thank you, Gary, for looking that up. She's on Academy Award. Catherine, thank you. Police can definitely follow up on this. He should have kissed his wife ahead, make it look okay, have alopecia. Yeah, look, here's the other thing with the alopecia. I don't think it was an alopecia joke. I really don't. And I'm not trying to defend Chris with his mental, because I don't know what was his mindset behind the joke. That, to me, though, was not a joke about alopecia. That was a joke about the way she looked And he said, don't forget how he starts this. Jada, love you. He starts it off trying to brace her for it. And even afterwards, he says, oh, come on, that wasn't that bad. I don't see the malice. That was not, I'm going to get you. He opens it up with Jada, love you. Can't wait to see you in G.I. Jane. Again, man, whether it's funny or not, you guys can determine. That's not an alopecia joke. It's not. That's a joke about the way she looks. But Vince, she looks that way because of alopecia. Listen, let's not kid each other. Jada Pinkett Smith is fucking gorgeous. She is gorgeous, with or without hair. Okay? Now, I understand what her feeling is about it. She could have handled, and she hasn't said a word yet as far as I know. She can handle this on her podcast. She can go after Chris in different ways, and she's going to come out of this looking even stronger because she didn't react. She didn't react. Will did. Now, again, why did Will react? I don't know. There was an eye roll. Look at the video. Again, there was a hard eye roll at him for him laughing. I wonder how much of what Will did was about her looking at him and not what Chris said. Again, I don't want to get into their heads, but that was a weird situation. Denise, 100%. He should have kissed her on the head, letting the world that he loves his wife. Yeah, I mean, his speech, his acceptance speech was bullshit. Yeah, who knows how much of that is acting. Amen. God told them to smack rock. God's work. They are so far removed from reality. Yeah, wow. I mean, that was another thing. Jess Savino, I would give anything to see the reaction in the producer's booth. Let me hear what's going on. Yeah, so look. So there's a guy on what's called the dump button pretty much in the producer studio. Once he starts cursing, there's a little bit of a delay from what we see at home and what's happening in the studio. So I guess once he says the part about, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth, they dump out of that before that hits home. But that happens here. So Australia, Japan, the rest of the world, they see the actual broadcast. The dump button here. So, they weren't happy. That was oh, my God. And then at that point, it's who got Chris Rock to do this? Who's the one who got Chris? Yeah, so there were some meetings after that. That wasn't the award show didn't end. It was like, hey, everyone, have a good night. See you at the parties. These actors are treated us like heroes, a problem with our society. He bitch slapped them. He laughed first. Yes, Allison, he did. You're beautiful, not ugly. Thank you, Anita. Vin, who do I got to fight? Ed O'Connell, when Will started saying he was doing God's work, I shut it off. Where does it end? It should end now. They should come out and take care of this in public. She's no shrinking violet. She can stand up for herself. Felicia, I agree with you too. Jada Pinkett Smith is a very strong woman. And listen, when you look at how they live their life publicly, okay, open marriage, she was having whatever extramarital affairs she was. That's up to them. None of my business. Will does with whatever he does with his life. There's all kinds of rumors about him being on the down low. I don't care about that. That's their personal life, whatever. But when you're in the public eye, you're subject to this. Whether you're a politician, a comedian, an actor, an Instagram, social media person, influencer, the Kardashian, man, the shit that's said about all of these people all day long. Listen, most of the people I know in the entertainment industry tweet, post, and don't read. In fact, Jimmy Kimmel did a thing. I don't know if he still does it, where the actors come on and read the mean tweets about themselves and turned it into a funny bit because of how horrific people can be. Now, listen, again, you try to walk away from some of it stings. Some of it hurts. We saw the New York, the Miss America, Miss New York committed suicide over some of the mean shit that people say. A lot of people in the LGBTQIA plus community commit suicide over the mean shit people say. Again, was this a personal attack or was it a joke? Of course it was a joke. It's a TV show. Chris Rock is a comedian. It's being said in that forum. This is not just somebody attacking somebody at random. I'm going to say it over and over. It was a TV show. Will Smith thought it was funny. Hey, laugh. Just read what Will Smith apologized to Chris Rock about his behavior. Hello, Vince, 100%. That seriously sucks that you guys give trigger time to get people to leave if they're offended. You have to do it now, Deb. You got to do it. Stress of Jada. Okay, that's another thing. Thank you for picking that up, Lois. The stress of the situation. So here's another thing I'm hearing. Will is in a very tense situation. He knows he's going to win an award that night. He's on edge. Will Smith is on edge because he's at the Oscars and he knows he's going to win an award and he's got to give a speech. And he's in that's a tense situation. He's very on edge. Stop. Jess Savino, she threatened to cancel the Oscars because it wasn't black enough. He said Jada was canceling the Oscars. Rihanna's that was the joke, Jess. That was the 2016 joke. Tracy wasn't. Nope. I don't know what you're referring to. I'm reading these as I go along, and that was like 5 minutes ago. I heard Will is going to Jada's Read Table Talk on Facebook TV to discuss. Yeah, they're going to milk this. Don't think they're not going to milk this. Jada's going to milk this. Will took it wrong. Not everyone follows Jada and her life. Yeah, well, that's the other thing. See, so there's that part of it too. Everyone assumes that, and Jada assumes everyone knows what she's going through. When you live in a bubble. Jess Savino, I'm sure they will work it out at the Red Table. I guess that's Jada Pinkett's show, the Red Table. Their son tweeted today, that's what we do. He's got to defend his mom. I'm not going to go after the kid. Rock said, why you got to be so rude? I'm going to slap you. If she was that sensitive about the way she looks, one word, wear a wig. I'm not going to tell somebody what to do when they're sensitive. If that's what makes you comfortable, whatever. Thank you for sharing your views as a comedian. Thank you guys for listening. We had the most views, I think, so far tonight. He's lucky he didn't hit Chappelle. Chappelle would have walked off the stage. I get how mad he was. The slap was on. Yeah, listen, I'm not saying that Will shouldn't have been mad. No. Hold on a second. I'm not saying Will should not have been pissed off. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying Will should have checked his emotion. No. Don't read into that with me. Will has a right to feel what he felt. I am not trying to turn Will into a robot. He absolutely has a right to feel that. What I'm saying is you don't walk on the stage and attack somebody at that moment during that ceremony. You have to handle that a different way. Okay? If you call yourself a role model, if you're doing God's work, I don't think God would have said, go up there and slap him. I don't think that's God's work. Also, I have some notes. Let's see. In terms of acting, yeah, listen, it's easy to act like someone else. Maybe you should act with restraint. I don't know. Everyone laughed, even after the side. I talked about that. Standing ovation, I talked about it. Don't condone violence. There's a lot. Here's another thing. A lot of people are condoning the violence. A lot of people are condoning the slap. I'm seeing a lot of people that are condoning going to war with Ukraine. Where are we, people, that we're just condoning, violence on a regular basis? Come on. Yeah, let's be better than that. Gave a very long acceptance speech without interruption. Maybe the longest acceptance speech I've ever seen, by the way. It was interesting that I didn't cut him off. Protect those you love. Oh, okay. Here's another thing I want to talk about. So one of the things that Will talked about in his speech, and I see some of you are tuning out. I know it's going long, but I'm trying to keep up with everything going on here. One of the things he talked about in his speech that the King Richard did was you protect the people you love. You protect your family. You protect your family from a joke? Look, man, you protect your family from outside sources trying to come in and disrupt your family. You protect your family from violence. You protect your family from a lot. You just said you protect your family in that situation from a joke, from a comedian that no one's taking serious. During an award show, first world problem. I don't think that that's what it means by protecting your family. That's just me. Yeah, here's another thing. So people talking about protecting themselves, protecting their property. Okay, so now what do we do in a situation where someone comes onto your property, because we've seen this, and rips your Biden sign out of the lawn? What do you do when someone comes onto your property and rips your Trump sign out of the lawn? So that's trespass. That's doing damage to your property. Are we going to start condoning people coming out of the house and kicking the shit out of everybody? So we're just going to start condoning fights all over the place. You have to be careful with this. Even the bump into each other. Okay? That's physical contact. If someone bumps into you, guys, walk away. Walk away. You don't know what somebody knows. Here's another thing. There's somebody out there who's, been in situations where, unfortunately, I've been in too many fights as a kid. I've seen things as adults. You don't know what somebody knows. You don't know what somebody has today. You don't know if somebody has a gun, a knife, whatever. Trust me, learn to walk away. Learn to walk away. I've seen crazy shit happen. I've seen bouncers at bars when I was a kid break up a fight. The guy left. He went, hey, you know what? Thank you for breaking up the fight. Left, came back, shot somebody. There was a son of a major construction company guy who broke up an argument at a bar. He was there. There was a couple people arguing, broke up the fight, went outside. The guy went up to him, and it looked like he was thanking him. He was patting him on the chest. He was stabbing him in the chest, stabbed the guy to death for breaking up a fight between him and some girl that he was talking. Man, you people, I don't know. Maybe you just haven't been around shit that I've been around. Let's see. You can't assault the character. Okay. The other thing, again, just to touch on, Will Smith talked about how his character played over. Don't use character as an excuse as to who you are in real life. When you take winning an award for acting out for someone that actually did it, I talked about that. It wasn't a joke. Again, you don't get to be that person. I'm sorry. Who are you to say what's a joke, what's not a joke? And I'm not saying what's a joke or what's not a joke. I'm telling you that that's an award show, and that's what these people are paid to do. Chris was hired. Yeah, I talked about that. This is a good one. You guys will like this. I definitely want to get to this. So, in terms of what's crossing the line, in terms of what you're allowed to do on stage as a comedian, not do as a comedian, here's a good story for me to break into, and maybe this is the best way to wrap this thing up. So, got on stage, was performing at a club, I'll never forget, in LBI. It's right over, you come over Route 72 or whatever it is when you go from the mainland onto Jersey. There was a place there, I want to say it was called the Quarterdeck, and they used to have comedy shows there. And I'm performing there one night, and I'm the headliner. And there's a kid in the front who's in a wheelchair. I do a lot of improv. I'm doing improv with the crowd. I do improv with the kid in the wheelchair. And we do some jokes about him being in a wheelchair, the whole bit. After the show, go back. Now, I can see some of you that are watching this are like, wow, Vin, really? You did jokes about a kid in a wheelchair and right in front of you? What kind of fucking animal are you? Okay, well, I did the jokes. After the show, the mom of the kid in the wheelchair comes looking for me. Hey, can I talk to you? I said, absolutely. She said, I don't know if you saw, but there was someone in a wheelchair in the front row. I said, yes. She goes, that was my son. I'm like, oh boy, here it comes. She goes, my son loves comedy. We take him to comedy clubs all the time. And he always winds up sitting in the front because he's in a wheelchair. And every comedy club that we go to, the comedians will play with the crowd, or at least one comedian will play with the crowd. Usually it's the host that plays with the crowd. And no one ever addresses my son because he's in a wheelchair. You were the first person to address my son. You were the first person to kind of joke about his situation. You were the first person that made him feel like everybody else in the comedy club. Is it possible that you come out, say hello to my son, take a picture with him? And I looked at this woman. I'm like, are you kidding me? Absolutely. And I went out and I met the kid, and he thanked me for making him feel like, and these were his words, I'll never forget. Thank you for making me feel like a normal person. Okay. Now, this is this person that actually had a disability that was visible. This wasn't, where I didn't know what the person was going through. I saw what the person was going through. And look, I do a lot of improv. I did some improv with him. Obviously, it wasn't mean-spirited. The kid got a kick out of it. The family got a kick out of it. So in terms of where's the line, again, you probably hear that and think, wow, you made fun of a kid in a wheelchair. No, first of all, you weren't there. You weren't in the room. You don't know what it was. I found somewhere where I can have some fun with this kid, do some improv with him. He loved it. The family loved it. They thanked me for it afterwards. So every other comedian apparently before me saw that as a line not to cross, that he wanted crossed. The family wanted crossed. So when you start saying don't cross that line, again, who are you to say that line? Because the person that was affected by the line in that situation wanted the line crossed. That's why you can't start drawing lines. So thank God I looked at my notes. Otherwise, I would have forgot about that. Hi, emoji. Okay. Again, I've been saying this over and over. I'm going to say it again. I don't want to see Will Smith canceled. I don't want to see Chris Rock canceled. I want to see them have a learning, teachable moment for everyone to be able to come together, because that's always what you want from this. You want people to learn from this. You want this to be a teachable moment. So That's ultimately what I want. Okay, let me catch up on some of the comments. I don't want to go too far on this. Let's see, where did we leave off here? Leah, that was where, okay, this is a good video, Vince. Thank you, Mary Lou. I'm trying to do my best. I'm trying to bring some sense to it. But I don't think you actually felt it. Why did that go so fast? Let's see. I don't think he actually felt. That's why I was laughing at first. I can't wait to see you in G.I. Jane. I think I would do awesome in G.I. Jane, by the way. Okay, let's cast me. Why not? I love you, Vince. Sally, haven't seen you in forever. Thank you for checking in. Yeah, just uncalled for. Well, the Oscars are a very scary place. Yeah, unfortunately, these award shows, they are what they are. Shattered and unhinged speech. Yeah, Clarissa, he was rattled. It's clear he was rattled. Janice, great live show, Vin. Thank you. Just an opinion. I think most women look beautiful bald. I think hairstyle takes away from the beauty of it. Listen, there's beauty in everybody out there. Okay? There's beauty in everybody out there. Okay? Usually it shines from within and comes out the eyes. That's what I've always noticed. Paul, so embarrassing for Smith. It's embarrassing for everyone. It was embarrassing for Smith. It was embarrassing for Chris Rock, who got slapped. It was embarrassing for the Oscars. And then it was embarrassing for the people that had to accept the award after the fact. Nobody wins. Nobody wins in that. It's embarrassing for everybody. It's embarrassing for us as a fucking country because that's our thing, the Academy Awards. I mean, I think 13 million people watched. Man, nobody needs this. Golden Globes, Ricky Gervais, hysterical, and he didn't get hit. Yeah, man, if there was someone who was going to get hit, it was going to be Ricky that night. That's awesome. Nice story, Mary Lou. Great story. You're a good guy, Vince. Oh, Norma, that was my first agent, by the way. I auditioned for her, and she took me on the spot and started sending me out for auditions, and I got a call back. I'm like one of the first ones. Thank you, Norma. Jada will invite them to the red table. Great video. Thank you, Naomi. Naomi's a huge fan. Her husband, John, did the original music, which I'm going to try to figure out how to play again, but I'm doing too much stuff here at once. Gary Warner, personally, I will cancel Will Smith by not attending his movies and giving him any money. I haven't seen a Will Smith movie. What was the last Will Smith movie I've seen? I don't even remember. Hope to see you soon. Poor Questlove. Yes. Oh, Allison, thank you. That's the name of the movie that won, Questlove. That was the documentary. Yeah, again, their moment got stolen. Listen, long video, hour long. Wanted to get this in. Wanted to give my perspective again as a comedian, as someone who's been to award shows, as someone that knows people that were at the award show last night that I was texting, hey, what was the vibe in the room? What was going on? As somebody who's also a lawyer, a judge, Seema pointed it out. I wear all the hats. So I wanted to get into a little bit of all of this. Again, if you disagree with me, that's fine. We're allowed to disagree. We're allowed to disagree with each other. But just tell me why you disagree with me. If you say, Vince, I disagree with you because you're a bald dick, I'm not watching you. I don't watch a guy who looks like his penis. Whatever. I don't care. I'm going to delete you. I'm going to block you. So say whatever the hell you want to say. Is it a bit or a Kanye Taylor? Yeah, remember when Kanye walked on? He didn't hit her, but still. Ruined the rest of the ceremony for those waiting. Yeah, it was definitely a down moment. Thanks. Fun and interesting tonight. Thank you, guys. I think we had more people logged on to this than any of these lives I've done. I'm seeing the reactions. I really appreciate you. Again, make sure you tell everyone to subscribe to my YouTube page. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on YouTube. If you think this video was helpful to people out there and more helpful than what people have been watching, share it. Say, hey, watch this guy, Vince. He made some interesting points. I'd appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for checking in. Everybody, have a great night. And remember, man, before you react in anger, if there's another way to react, choose that way. Choose that way. Try to talk it out. Again, I don't want to see anyone canceled. I don't want to see people live like that. We got to get past it. If you're going to preach about love and happiness and all this stuff, like the way they did at the award show last night, you know what? It starts with you. It starts with me. So let's start it tonight. Everybody, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great night.